Hey there, folks. This is the Dose of Science channel, and today we've got something very interesting for you. Buckle up for a captivating journey into the world of David Hahn, a young guy whose scientific curiosity took him on a wild adventure. Get ready to explore homemade science and the importance of keeping things safe and sound. Let's set the stage by introducing you to David Hahn, your typical teenager from the 90s. He had a big love for science, and boy, did he love tinkering with stuff. But who would have guessed that his inquisitive nature would lead to something both extraordinary and dangerous? Now let's dive into what got David all fired up, the world of nuclear science. You see, he was intrigued by atoms and energy, and that led him to dream big. He wanted to build his very own nuclear reactor. But hang on, he was missing a few key pieces of this puzzling picture. Picture this. David started gathering things like smoke detectors and old clocks. Believe it or not, these seemingly harmless objects contained a tiny bit of radioactive stuff. But here's the twist. He didn't quite grasp how risky it could be to play around with this stuff without proper know-how. Fast forward to David's backyard shed, the hub of his ambitious project. He began putting things together, thinking he could create something super powerful, almost like those enormous reactors you've seen in movies. But wait a minute, there's a plot twist. He wasn't really clued in on the safety side of things. Brace yourselves for a critical moment in this tale. The radioactive materials David was dealing with are seriously hazardous if not handled right. His reactor idea sounded kind of cool, but it also posed a major risk, not just to him, but to his neighborhood and even the environment. Time flew by, and some sharp eyes started noticing odd things happening in David's shed. Before he knew it, the authorities were on the scene. They uncovered his radioactive experiment and knew they had to step in to bring safety back into the picture. Now here's the heart of the story, the lesson we can all take home. David's journey teaches us a powerful truth. Science is mind-blowing, but safety should always be in the driver's seat. It's like trying to skate without knee pads. Not the smartest move, right?
Hahn was fascinated by chemistry and spent years conducting amateur chemistry experiments, which sometimes caused small explosions and other mishaps. He was inspired in part by reading the Golden Book of Chemistry Experiments and tried to collect samples of every element in the periodic table, including the radioactive ones. He later received a merit badge in atomic energy and became fascinated with the idea of creating a breeder reactor in his home. Hahn diligently amassed radioactive material by collecting small amounts from household products, such as americium from smoke detectors, thorium from camping lantern mantles, radium from clocks, and tritium from gun sights. His reactor was a bored-out block of lead, and he used lithium from $1,000 worth of purchased batteries to purify the thorium ash using a Bunsen burner. Hahn ultimately hoped to create a breeder reactor, using low-level isotopes to transform samples of thorium and uranium into fissile isotopes. Hahn became depressed after the scandal, a problem exacerbated by the breakup with his then-girlfriend and the suicide of his mother in early 1996. While he did graduate from high school, he lacked any direction or plans thereafter. His father and stepmother first encouraged him to attend Macomb Community College. He enrolled in a metallurgy program there, but frequently skipped classes. He was then encouraged to join the military, so he enlisted in the Navy, assigned to the nuclear-powered aircraft carrier USS Enterprise as an undesignated seaman. After a 4-year tour, he achieved interior communications specialist with a rank of petty officer 3rd class. After his time on USS Enterprise, Hahn enlisted in the Marine Corps and was stationed in North Carolina. After a few years, Hahn achieved the rank of Lance Corporal. Shortly after returning from a rotation in Japan, he was honorably discharged on medical grounds and returned to Michigan. On April 23, 2007, the FBI received a lead regarding Hahn's alleged possession of a second neutron source in his freezer. Contacted via telephone, Hahn insisted that he was not in possession of radioactive material. The FBI decided no imminent terrorist threat was present, but decided to attempt a personal interview. During an interview at an FBI office on May 16, 2007, investigators' questions touched on a variety of topics, such as flyers that Hahn had distributed promoting his book and upcoming film, theft of tires and rims from a vehicle prior to his Navy service, a diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia, and a few less significant topics. FBI agents then interviewed an individual, whose identity was not released, who stated that Hahn was using cocaine heavily, was not taking his prescribed medication, was paranoid about people who he claimed had the ability to shock his genitals with their minds, and had possibly been visited by prostitutes. The individual also stated that he believed that Hahn was still trying to build a reactor and was collecting radium. He stated that he did not believe Hahn had any intentions of hurting anyone but was concerned about his mental state. This investigation is likely what led to Hahn's arrest regarding larceny of smoke alarms. On August 1, 2007, Hahn was charged with larceny in Clinton Township, Michigan, for allegedly removing a number of smoke detectors from the halls of his apartment building. His intention was to obtain americium from them. In his mugshot, his face was covered with sores, which investigators believed could have been from exposure to radioactive materials, psoriasis, or possible drug use. During a circuit court hearing, Hahn pleaded guilty to attempted larceny of a building. The court's online docket said prosecutors recommended that he be sentenced to time served and enter an inpatient treatment facility. Under terms of the plea, the original charge of larceny of a building would be dismissed at sentencing, scheduled for October 4th. He was sentenced to 90 days in jail for attempted larceny. Court records stated that his sentence would be delayed by 6 months, while Hahn underwent medical treatment in the psychiatric unit of Macomb County Jail. On September 27, 2016, at the age of 39, Hahn died in his hometown of Shelby Charter Township, Michigan. His death was ruled an accidental result of intoxication from the combined effects of alcohol, diphenhydramine, and fentanyl. This is it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed and learned something new from today's video. Thanks for watching.